Hello, I'm Mike Loader, and today we are talking the future of jobs and employment. Jobfind is a great group which aims to be a solution to supporting youth into long-term jobs, and I actually have Jobfind CEO Karena Newland joining me, along with Cameron Judson, who is the CEO of Angus, which serves as a human services business aiming to get people on the job as well. Welcome to you both. Thanks for your time. Karena, I'll start with you. So it's expected that strong employment growth and demand for workers in the post-pandemic economy, there's a recovery on the way. How will Jobfind look to assist people who are emerging from this sort of lockdown, locked business, closed business, pandemic situation we've been going through?
Well, as vaccinations rates rises in the next little while, there's going to be more and more of a need for people to fill local jobs. And the borders are going to remain closed for a period, so overseas workers aren't going to be the option that they previously have been before. So it's a great opportunity for us being employment services providers, and at Jobfind we have about 10,000 job seekers that we can assist into employment. So what we need to do is work with employers to make sure we know their needs and prepare our job seekers, and that includes through skilling, through preparing them with employabilities and hard skills, and helping employers find the fastest way to recruit people, to get people on the job quickly because they need people quickly. We have people ready looking for work right now, and we can speedily help employers fill those positions.
And that's the thing, isn't it? You've got to pull an arrow back to launch it forward. So what does Jobfind see as the main barriers perhaps for businesses who are looking to find workers post the pandemic? I understand there's a lot of people ready to go, but what do businesses need to keep an eye out for?
Well, they need to keep an eye out for the right people for the right job.
Right, don't just dive in.
Yeah, and what we need to do is we need to make sure people stay in that job long term. So our aim is to make sure that we're really good at keeping people in a job. One of the things we do really well as an organisation, is actually best in the country, is actually keep our job seekers in their jobs for 26 weeks, which is really, really important. So the barriers for employers at the moment are finding the right person for the job and with the right skills. But what a lot of employers don't realise is we actually have the capacity to train and develop those job seekers to prepare them specifically for every employer's needs. So we have a whole heap of programs and ways that we do that with job seekers. The other thing that we need to do is make sure that employers understand their recruitment processes so that they can actually pick the right person for the job, and our job seekers get through the processes to get a job really, really quickly.
It's kind of inspiring. You're not just writing people off and sort of encouraging people to get involved and really give it a shot. Cameron, I'll go to you. What kind of industries are facing labour shortages at the moment, and can you give me some of the programs you guys are implementing in order to alleviate the stress that we've seen?
Yeah, great question. So to build on Karena's point, there's clearly a gap in the market today with skilled migrants and students and holiday tourist makers not being in the market. So we anticipate there's about 500,000 people not here in work. So we need employers to think differently about skills and about fit. And I guess the key thing we do when we think about those challenges is about overcoming both vocational and non-vocational barriers to employment. And as Karena touched on, preparing people for the aptitude and attitude needed to be successful in the role. That's where we support our job seekers. And then giving them the skills that are relevant and specific to each individual employer in each individual industry. So we spend a lot of time thinking about our partners in that regard. We work with our own registered training organisation. We work with TAFE Directors Australia and TAFEs, and then we also work with large employers like Programs. So we think we bring our knowledge of industry to that conversation, our knowledge of employers to that conversation, and most importantly what we bring is our knowledge about job seekers and how to get them into work and keep them in work.
I'm glad you mentioned attitude there. I think that's a big part of people enjoying the work that they do, so I'm glad you touched on that. But Cameron, does it make sense for employers to start diversifying their workforce post-pandemic, and how are you guys looking to help with that process?
Yeah, again, great question. So we see that labour shortage will be a reality for most employers for a period of time. And so there's a big shift on in the economy more broadly around the need for digital skills, the growth that will come out of the post-COVID environment. So all employers need to take a different look at the skills they need to be successful, and then look differently at job seekers in terms of the skills they bring, but more importantly the skills they can learn and develop in the job. So the mindset that I think will support growth in employment in this country is getting people into work and accepting they might have some of the hard skills, but you might need to develop more of those skills for them to be successful in employment.
Again, the attitude and willingness to learn is another big part
100%.
of it. But Cameron, Karena, I want to thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mike.